All right, ladies and gentlemen, here I am in the HyperDoc under Tuesday 4/21/20, and I'm going to click on the link that I expect you all to click on. So let's go there, see where it takes us. Okay, so this website is going to spend its entire time talking to you about the different types of reproduction. Sexual versus asexual. Now, when you get to this website, the HyperDoc wants you to select 3 of these organisms, okay? For example, I can click on the cacti, and it's going to give me a brief description. It says, the saguaro is a tree-like cactus that grows over 50 feet tall in desert areas of North America. The cactus flowers in the spring and relies mainly on bats for pollination. The flowers produce fleshy fruit filled with thousands of seeds, each one genetically unique. And from this brief synopsis, you're to determine whether this cacti reproduces sexually, both asexually and sexually, or just asexually. Now, what is the difference between sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction? Well, the plain and simple answer is that sexual reproduction always involves sperm and egg. When sperm fertilizes egg to make a zygote, that is sexual reproduction. And the zygote of a plant is a seed. Now, asexual reproduction does not involve sperm and egg. Asexual reproduction is when an organism simply makes a copy of itself, an identical copy at that. And that concept of identical copy leads us into the second difference between sexual and asexual reproduction. The offspring from sexually reproducing parents are not going to be identical to the parent or parents. In asexual reproduction, the offspring is going to be identical to the parent because, well, it's a clone, it's a copy of that parent. And finally, the last difference I'd like to talk about in this short snippet before I cut you guys loose to pick 3 organisms here is that sexual reproduction typically involves 2 parents, one to provide the sperm and the other to provide the egg. Asexual reproduction only involves 1 parent. Now, there are some exceptions for sexual reproduction. For instance, some flowering plants self-pollinate. They can possess both male and female reproductive parts, sperm and egg, and the sperm from one flower can fertilize the egg of that same flower. Now, that is sexual reproduction, but technically there is only 1 parent. So how is it sexual reproduction? Well, it's sexual reproduction because sperm fertilized egg. Right? That's what sexual reproduction cares about. That's what the definition of sexual reproduction is focused on. Now, granted, that sperm from that flower fertilizing the same egg from that same flower, the offspring is going to be identical. It's going to be a clone. Right? This sounds a lot like asexual reproduction, but remember, when sperm meets egg, it's sexual reproduction. So I invite you now to pick 3 organisms and follow what the HyperDoc says to do.